So it is a Friday afternoon. It is awfully chilly outside. Drop my tripod. And I'm hoping this does not mess up my adhesive situation because it's supposed to be kind of warmer outside in order for it to be used as directed by the bottle of adhesive. It says to be over 40 degrees. Well, we're cutting it close right now. The last 2 days is whenever I planned on doing this, and it was really beautiful here in Tennessee. I mean, I'm talking, it was like spring weather. And as I had mentioned on the last video, my landlord came and dropped a bunch of stuff out in the yard. Well, it's all gone. It's much prettier now. The only problem is the last 2 days after I got off work were the days that some guy was here picking all that stuff up. So it is kind of awkward to talk to a camera, much less have to explain why I'm talking to a camera or whatever. Not really awkward. I don't know. I just know it just didn't feel right whenever I was out here and this guy doing all this work out here, who I offered to help. He didn't want any help. I thought it was gonna be done, but the last 2 days he's been done after dark. So this adhesive needs to be done today. If that doesn't happen, that means tomorrow, Saturday, I would end up doing it. And then the rest of Saturday, I can't really do anything because it takes so long to actually dry the adhesive. So that's the step today. Get the adhesive on whatever slats are left and then get the weight on top of it because that's going to be a challenge. Let's get it going. Wild Days of the Calloways. All right, so here we go again. This is not easy. In fact, it's quite frustrating how hard it is to get this stuff out. Wow, I hate it already. I feel like that should work for that bowed out one pretty good. So next comes the trickiest part, which is trying to get the adhesive on all the long slats as quickly as possible, all the way down to the bed, and then come back and put weight on it before it's too late and it starts all popping and bowing up. Basically what I'm doing is zigzagging, but leaving a big bead on each edge while there's not quite as much in the middle. There's got to be a better way. I can get this one like I just did done, this one, just this side, I'll consider that getting something done today because I just don't have the strength. And look at that, there it goes. It's about to force my hand to do that one. I'm not ready to do that one. Shit. February 4th or 5th or whatever, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and didn't get anything done yesterday. On Saturday, decided to go take a much needed day of disc golf and hiking with Lindsay and Chaser. Things I just haven't really been able to do since the van project has really been underway and going strong. Last we saw, I did just a couple slats. The majority of those are holding up really well. There are just maybe 2 or 3 that have a little bit of play in them that, you know, aren't bonded with the bottom as much as I was hoping they would be. Now, I don't think they'd come off very easy, but they don't stay firm, stuck. I feel like the strong ones that surround all of them will offset what little bit of play they have in them. So I'm not too worried about those. If I do get worried about them, then I'll just maybe rip them up, put new ones down or something. I really don't know how I'd work that out. In order to save my wrists, which were killing me yesterday after doing the first round of adhesive, or I guess technically the second at that point, I'm soaking it in hot water, and hopefully that will soften the adhesive up a little bit and just make it come out the tube a little bit better. I've got to find a better way. The way it's been happening is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. It's painful. It hurts. It's slow, and it just bogs the whole process down. And so that's something that has to change. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out some way to get that stuff out easier and probably slap my forehead whenever I figure out what the fix is as to why I didn't do it any sooner. So I've got a whole new tube of it ready to go in the hot water and should be much better and easier to come out. Let's get going. Wild Days of the Calloways. I want to quickly show you what I'm talking about as far as some of this stuff being loose. In addition, that weight shifts the wood sometimes. For instance, some of this stuff is pushed up further than we wanted. You know, that gap right there, that was actually supposed to be closed. Hopefully that won't actually matter when we attach it down and put our separator in between the carpet and the wood. As far as a little bit of play in some of these, you can see this one's solid. This one's stuck to the ground, although there is a small gap there, which I don't like, but I mean, I put a lot of weight on it. I mean, I put the heaviest thing back here. You can see that one has a little bit of play. I don't really like that, but it's not throughout the whole thing, it's just down here. That one's pretty solid, solid, yet to be done. So I'm gonna try to use the rest of the little bit what's left in the last of the first bottle. That's been the really difficult stuff to get out. I want this to go as quickly as possible so I can not only be done with it today, get it on everything, and successfully get all the weight down as soon as possible. That's been the name of the game, and that's what we've been really struggling with, which is probably why we have play in some of these sometimes. So I'm going to try to use my heat gun once again and try to do my best to get what's left of that adhesive nice and easy to push out. And then I'll use the one that's been soaking in hot water, which hopefully will be about the same, and do the rest as quickly as possible. So let's see what happens. Time-lapse mode. Okay, that seemed to do really well. I cut the tip a little bit. The hot water on worked pretty well, but holding that heat and gun up to it for some reason worked this time and not last time whenever I tried to do it that first day. Yes, I messed up right here. You probably saw that. It just slipped right out of my fingers messing with this adhesive, knowing how hard it is to get off my skin. I was turning it over. Instead of turning it over into the valley, it just plopped right into there. Waste of adhesive, and now it just looks a little bit uglier. But all that's going to get covered up, so it doesn't matter. I'm hoping that it doesn't merge with whatever it is that I'm sticking on it to give it weight. Right now, I need to get weight on this as quickly as possible. I thought I was going to run out of adhesive. I'm at the very bottom of the barrel. I'm hoping I have enough for this piece right here. Fingers crossed, because that would really, really help. So I'm going to pull some of this stuff off that I put on here just to kind of prevent it from bowing out as bad as it is, and immediately get weight on it. This is what we're working with. A lot of ridiculous, uneven weight. I hope this works right. The guide that I watched, their valleys were a little bit wider and a little bit deeper, so they were able to get wood that was a little bit flatter. I noticed they put less adhesive on it and just right in the middle of it. A little bit different than what I've been doing, which is just globbing on the adhesive to these slats that have a little bit of bow in them, which requires proportional weight so that it actually lays down flat. I'm finding rocks and stuff that I didn't even realize I had just to try to put on some weight back here. Heat gun and cutting the hole open larger just made all the difference in the world this time. We won't even notice any of these mistakes after we get the flooring, the actual wood part on top. But as I've been saying from the very get-go, the flooring is the most difficult part. Once that's done, everything else I feel like will really start flowing. The bed/futon design I'm going for, how high it's going to be, I mean, all these things are going to be really fun to start getting into whenever the flooring's done. But the floor has to be done. Why even think about solar panels until the flooring's done? So once I can actually get in here and work, I'll feel much better about anything else that goes in here. Hopefully I can check back tomorrow if I get off early enough and show how all this stuff turned out. Not the prettiest thing in the world. You can see this right here. These lines are not even. And just a couple days before I glued this stuff down, I cut it all to where it would be right where it needs to be. I really wanted it butted up against this little spot right here, all across the board, but boy, all that weight just shifted it forward. There's minimal amounts of play. There's a little bit in that one. Hardly in that one, none in that one, none in that one. A good bit of play in this one. You can see how far up it is. This one, a little bit. Honestly, I feel like as long as some of them are in play and they get bolted down to the ones that actually feel the best, I say bolted, the ones that get screwed into that feel the best, they should offset the ones that aren't perfect. This one was also a concern, and I can see this thing didn't get as perfect as I wanted it to be. And by that, I mean it's kind of got a funny little slant to it. This one right here, it's shorter right here than it is down here, not by a whole lot. Maybe I'll just have to cut a little piece of custom wood, because ultimately the flooring's gonna get about right here. It'll have a little piece, a little corner piece that goes down. Also still need to take this carpet out, that carpet out, and we'll eventually put a piece of wood that goes straight down from there, I guess. Or maybe an angle. Hell, I don't know, that part's tricky, and I'll have to worry about that whenever the time comes. But anyway, this thing is down pretty doggone good. Say that. In a couple days, we'll put the insulation template that we put in there, and then we'll put the wood on top. We'll drill into all of our now studs, and then from there, take some stuff to fill in all the corners that it doesn't actually reach, and then caulk it and make it to where if we spill some water, it doesn't just get up in there, because it would probably never come out. So that part's very important. I'd like to put some sort of barrier right there. These two, this one and this one. This one I already pulled just a little bit, and I felt like it was all coming undone. So what I'll end up doing is lift that a little bit, and then I'll put some epoxy up in there. And then the same thing with this. Everything else that I'm feeling here, old and new, feels just like I want it to. So thank God I feel like I have a solid, some good studs to actually screw into that will keep our floor from shifting all over the place. I mean, that was the whole goal to begin with, so hooray. So I would say, y'all go ahead and let me know how I'm doing, but seeing how this video is probably like the 15th one, even though the others haven't been posted yet, hopefully y'all are already doing that. For better or for worse. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of garbage on YouTube, that's just what happens. But hopefully everybody's pretty down with what's going on here, and I can help inspire and support whoever else is curious and wanting to do something quite like this. I've said it before, but we love Chattanooga, and you know, we've got some pretty decent things going on here, but we know the world is much larger than this, and South Louisiana where we grew up. So we want to step out. We want to see what else is out there, and we want to do it in a van. We want to do it this way. We want to put our mind to it and make sure that it's the memories we take away. You know, we could easily buy almost a new car at this point, but that's not what we want to do. We want to see the world, and we want to see it on the wheels, even if it is tight quarters and no bathroom. This is a big deal for us, and I just hope everybody's getting something out of this. Subscribe. I guess I should start saying that. Be sure to subscribe to us. Yeah.